Look, I have to tell you something and I don't feel great about it. I did the whole thing. The cold shower at 5:15, the 10 minutes of journaling, the 20 minutes of reading before sunrise, the cold green drink I still don't know how to describe. For 90 days I ran the full protocol without missing a single morning. And on day 91, I sat down, opened the same journal, and tried to write down just one, interesting thought I had produced in any of those 90 mornings. Nothing. I couldn't come up with a single one. I want to be clear about why I'm telling you this. It's not one of those, I found the answer, let me sell it to you in a course stories. I'm telling you because I think I got scammed. Not in an obvious way. Nobody stole my credit card. I mean scammed the deeper way. The way where you spend 3 months of your life doing something you were told would change you. And at the end of it, you look up, and you're exactly who you were. Only more tired and slightly more insufferable at parties. And I don't think I'm the only one. I think there's a whole generation of guys running the same protocol right now, feeling the same low-grade emptiness and blaming themselves for it, assuming they must be doing it wrong, adding more habits, getting up earlier, buying the next supplement. You've seen the videos, you know the ones. A shirtless man in a bathroom staring into a mirror with the intensity of someone about to defuse a bomb. There's a cold plunge. There's a green drink. There's a leather-bound journal being opened like it's a religious text. There's a timer. Always a timer. And on the wall behind him, a printed quote from Marcus Aurelius, usually mistranslated. That's the current face of Stoicism in 2026. And it's wrong in a way that's almost impressive. Not wrong like slightly off. Wrong like architecturally inverted. The morning routine industry took a philosophical practice about preparing the mind for what the day would take from you, and repackaged it as a productivity system for extracting more from the day. Same word, opposite thing. That's the trick of the whole industry. It replaces the point of the practice with the performance of the practice. And then it sells you the performance for 12 monthly payments. And the reason I could fall for it, the reason a lot of us fall for it, is worth actually looking at. So let's look at it. Here's what I didn't see for the first 60 days, and I want you to see it faster than I did. Take one of those routine videos and turn the sound off. Just watch it. What are you actually looking at? It's not a spiritual practice. It's a workflow, a pipeline. A morning as an assembly line where inputs, cold water, protein, blue light avoidance, get fed into a machine, which is you, and the output, productivity, focus, aesthetic, gets measured. That's not philosophy. That's operations management with candles. The vocabulary gives it away every time. Optimize, stack, protocol, baseline, peak. These aren't words from anyone thinking about how to live. These are the words of factory engineers. The Stoics didn't have a concept called optimizing your baseline cortisol. They had a concept called prososhe, attention, and they used it to notice how they were about to fail that day, not to squeeze another 3% of dopamine out of themselves before breakfast. And here's the part I want you to look at closely. Pay attention to who's actually selling all of this. It's rarely anyone who has read Stoicism. It's productivity influencers, wellness bros, supplement companies, and one specific best-selling author whose entire brand is built on making Marcus Aurelius sound like an executive coach for tech founders. The philosophy is a wrapper. Underneath it is the same optimization gospel Silicon Valley has been preaching for 15 years, now with a marble bust glued on top for legitimacy. I bought that wrapper. So did you, probably, if you're still watching. Here's the part that made me feel most stupid, honestly. Because Marcus Aurelius did write about mornings. There's a passage. It's famous. It opens book 5 of the Meditations. You'd find it in the second thing you'd read if you actually opened the book. He writes roughly, "In the morning, when you rise unwillingly, let this thought be with you. I am rising to do the work of a human being. Why am I complaining if I am going to do what I was made for?" That's it. That's the Stoic morning routine. No cold plunge, no journal template, no macro-tracked breakfast, no 5 a.m. wake-up. In fact, he specifically says he rises unwillingly, which is the exact opposite of the alpha productivity aesthetic. It's just one thought exercise. Remember what you're for. And read that passage again, because it's not a productivity affirmation. He's not saying you were made for greatness. He's saying you were made to do the work of a human being, which for him meant showing up for other people, doing the tedious thing, dealing with the difficult colleague, keeping your word. The word he used was kathekon, appropriate action, not peak performance, not grinding, just doing the next thing a decent person would do and doing it without whining about it. The most powerful man on the planet at the time wrote himself a note about how not to be a complainer in the morning. And that same passage is now the philosophical foundation of a $500 course on how to squeeze more units of output from your circadian rhythm. Something got very lost in the translation. Here's the distinction the industry cannot afford for you to understand. And once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. I've been thinking about it for 2 years. A ritual creates meaning. A regimen optimizes output. From the outside, they can look identical. Same actions, same timing, same journal open on the same desk. But they do opposite things to your interior life. A ritual asks, what am I remembering right now? A regimen asks, what am I producing right now? A ritual creates a pause before the day, a moment of orientation, a small ceremony that says, here I am, here is what matters, now I go. A regimen creates a checklist that says, I have not yet failed today, here is my proof. I ran a regimen for 90 days, and I genuinely thought it was a ritual because it looked like one. The candle was lit, the journal was open, the tea was steeping. All the surface features were right. What was missing was the interior act of actually remembering anything. There was no meaning being made. There was just a sequence being executed. Beautifully, empty. The tell is this, and once you know the tell, you can never fool yourself about it again. At the end of a ritual, you feel oriented. At the end of a regimen, you feel ahead of schedule. One puts you in touch with your life. The other puts you in front of it. The industry sells you regimens because regimens are photogenic and scalable. You can film a regimen. You can package a regimen into a course. You cannot film someone actually sitting quietly for 30 seconds remembering what a decent life looks like. There is nothing to sell in a real ritual, which, if you slow down and think about it, is exactly why real rituals are the ones worth having. Now let me tell you the specific way this thing eats you alive, because it happened to me and I've watched it happen to a lot of friends. There's a well-documented pattern in psychology called goal displacement. The metric designed to measure a thing eventually replaces the thing itself. You start tracking your morning routine to help you live better. 6 months later, you're living to complete your morning routine. The tail is wagging the dog, and you can't tell anymore which is which. Watch it in real time in any of these communities. The routines get longer. Wake-up gets earlier. Protocols compound. What started as sit for 10 minutes before the day becomes a 2-hour production requiring 7 products and 45 minutes of prep. The routine devours the morning. Then the morning devours the person. And the first thing that disappears? The reason you started in the first place. Ask anyone in the year 2 version of their optimization stack what any of it is for. They can tell you the biomarker they're chasing. They can tell you the influencer they're following. They cannot tell you what they're actually trying to become. Because at some point in the last 18 months, becoming someone got quietly replaced by not missing a day. There's research on this, plenty of it, showing that people who overstructure their mornings report higher anxiety and lower life satisfaction than people with looser routines. Not the same, higher. Why? Because a regimen creates a daily opportunity to fail. 16 habits tracked. 16 chances to have screwed something up before 8 a.m. And on the days you miss one, the whole day feels contaminated. That's not discipline. That's an anxiety disorder wearing a whoop strap and calling itself a lifestyle. The real Stoic practice was designed to reduce daily suffering, not manufacture new categories of it. You want to know what the real thing actually looked like? I'll tell you. It's almost insulting how simple it is. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca all describe versions of the same practice. In the morning, before the day gets going, you do a short mental exercise called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversities. You imagine what might go wrong today. Someone will be rude. A meeting will not go your way. You'll be tempted to lash out at somebody. A thing you wanted will not come. A person you love will disappoint you in some small, ordinary way. You picture it. You accept it in advance. And then you walk into the day already inoculated against being surprised by ordinary difficulty. That's it. That's the entire practice. Some of them added a second exercise. At the end of the day, a review. Where did I fail? Where did I actually show up? What did I say I would do, and what did I not do? No apps, no metrics, no streak counter. Just an honest look for 5 or 10 minutes before you sleep. Total time investment, 15 minutes on both ends. Zero equipment, zero purchases required. Not a single supplement affiliate code involved. You'll notice this practice fits inside no morning routine reel that has ever gone viral, and it never will, because there is nothing to film. It's a man or a woman sitting quietly for a few minutes, imagining bad things, and then getting on with the day. It's spectacularly boring. It's spectacularly effective, and nobody is going to build a personal brand on it. All right? Here's the part of the video that I actually made this for, and it's the part I've been avoiding because it applies to me too. I bet some of you have been watching this thinking about the influencer, the Huberman devotee at your gym, the Ryan Holiday quote tweeter in your office, the guy at brunch who won't shut up about his cold plunge. Fair. Those guys are real. Nothing I've said absolves any of them, but turn the mirror for a second. Hold the urge to look away. How much of your own morning is a regimen dressed up as a ritual? How many of your practices are actually anxiety management systems that need increasing input every year to produce the same interior effect? How many of your habits started as help and are now debt? One more thing you owe yourself before you're allowed to feel okay. How many days do you finish having completed your entire protocol and still feel nothing? And when's the last time you sat down for even 3 minutes and asked yourself what any of it is preparing you for? I ran the 90-day protocol because I could not sit with the fact that I didn't know what I wanted my life to be. The routine gave me a substitute. As long as I was executing it, I did not have to answer the question. The cold shower wasn't making me stoic. The cold shower was letting me postpone a much colder conversation with myself. That's the whole industry, actually. It's a machine for producing the feeling of a considered life without requiring you to consider anything. And the reason it works on smart people, on well-read people, on people who should know better, is that the alternative is much harder than a cold plunge. The alternative is sitting quietly for 15 minutes with an honest question about your day, your marriage, your work, what you actually want from the time you have left. A cold plunge is over in 3 minutes. The question you're avoiding is not. That's why the routine keeps growing. Because as long as it's growing, the question can wait. I don't have a routine to sell you. If I did, I'd be the thing I'm criticizing, and I've already been that guy for one lifetime. What I have is this. Read Book 5 of Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. Any translation, the Gregory Hayes one is the best modern edition, $12 on Amazon, cheaper than any single item in your supplement stack. Read the opening passage, read the next 20. It'll take you 90 minutes. Then, some morning this week, before you touch your phone, try this. Sit somewhere. Imagine 3 specific things that might go wrong today. Accept in advance that they might happen. Get up. Go do the work of a human being. Whatever that looks like for your specific life, your specific people, your specific work. That's the whole practice. It's older than every optimization framework on the internet by 2,000 years. It has never been improved on. It cannot be sold, because there is nothing in it to sell. And do read Marcus Aurelius, Suspicious of Me Too. I'm just some guy on the internet who talked for 12 minutes about Stoicism, and at this point in the video, you should have picked up a healthy skepticism toward that whole category of guy. Fair, but do the exercise. Not for 100 days, not with a tracker. Just do it one morning this week and see what happens when you stop treating your day as a production line and start treating it as a life. That's the difference. That's the whole thing I've been trying to tell you. Some men died 2,000 years ago and left us a note about how to be less of a complainer in the morning. It's still the best morning routine anyone has ever written, and nobody is ever going to sell it to you. Which, if you sit with it long enough, is exactly why it works.